Hey guys, Allison here. So today I wanted to feature on the vlog a review on my Apple Watch Series 2. At first I was going to start out just talking about like my top favorite features, but I love so many things about this Apple Watch that I just went ahead and thought it would be a good idea to do just a generic overall review, kind of hitting some key highlights on what I love about the Apple Watch. So if you weren't aware, back in 2015, the Apple Watch was created and has really kind of dominated the smartwatch market. And I'll be honest, I wasn't really on board at first just because I didn't want, and I'm an Apple lover, but I didn't want another device to kind of keep me connected and just another reason to check text messages and emails and everything. But now with a 6-month-old in tow, it's really been a huge time saver. It's really helped me be more hands-free and motivated me to stay active, and it has just overall been a real big game changer for me in my day-to-day. Apple released the Series 2 last year, so on the surface it may look very similar to the original Apple Watch, but today again I'm just going to go ahead and review kind of some key changes and additions. First off, the Apple Watch Series 2 comes with two main body options. The aluminum version, which right now I believe retails at $369, or the stainless steel option, which is $549. And they can be paired with a variety of sporty leather or nylon bands. You can see kind of the array of bands that I have. These are actually kind of off-brand, generic. I got them off Amazon maybe for like $10 each. I went a little crazy with having a lot of variety, but that way it's a little more versatile with whatever I'm wearing or if I'm working out or whatever. So that's kind of why I have so many. Also, they come in two different sizes. The Apple Watch face does, in a 38 millimeter and a 42 millimeter. This one actually is the gold aluminum, and it's the 38 millimeter size. I just thought for my wrist that was a good size. I didn't want it too big or too bulky. So that's the one I went with. The battery life, it's a minimum of 2 days battery life, and at times can stretch to 3 days. I know for some of the other kind of smartwatches out there that's not that great, but I charge mine every night while I'm sleeping, so it hasn't really been a deal breaker for me. It does sync up with the iPhone Apple Watch app, and that's kind of where you'll have the main controls and settings that you can go in and make adjustments on notifications and add applications and everything to your watch. So I think that's a default app, the watch app on your phone when you get an iPhone. So the display is 2 times brighter than the Series 1. There's customizable watch faces, and that's actually one thing I wanted to talk about. Actually, I have to put this password in because I have Apple Pay, which I'll talk about in a minute. But there's different watch faces. Sorry, I don't know if I'm zooming in. There we go, focusing. There's different watch faces you can have, and of course you can customize this to your liking on your iPhone. So everything will sync how you want it, and it's kind of nice to have this customized feature. Actually, one thing that I do, let me go back to my original. Here we go. I have my Instagram photos actually on my watch face. So every time I kind of twist my phone to look at the time or date or access my Apple Watch at any time, it kind of flips through some Instagram photos that I have, and it definitely always brings a smile to my face. So one thing that I've actually done that's been really awesome is, this is kind of my everyday watch face, and then when I am going to the gym or going to go for a workout or whatever, I've already customized it where I can just slide to the next watch face, and this is kind of where all my workout activity stuff is. Sorry, I don't know if it's focusing. But I can quickly access my activity rings, which I'll talk about here in a minute, and I can quickly, push a button and get to all of my shortcuts for storing a workout. So that's been really helpful. I think also I have like a stopwatch on here and other things. And then when I leave the gym, I just swipe slide it back over to my kind of original that has like the date and weather and stuff like that. So one of the main reasons I really got the Apple Watch was for the activity. Fitbit has really long dominated the fitness tracker industry, and but the Apple Watch can now do almost everything that the Fitbit top trackers can do, and a lot more. So we'll talk about the activity rings really fast. You can click in here, you just push, and you can scroll down and you can see all of your move and exercise and stand goals. Kind of gives you a quick summary and overview, how many steps you've taken and distance traveled and any calories you've burned up to this point. There's different coaching and achievements that you can get. There's a heart rate sensor. And I mentioned the activity button here. Here we go. Workout app that you can quickly choose from. You can hit other, and there's so many more other ones, but these are kind of some of the go-to ones, I guess, that people have used in the past. So that's one thing that's great. So you can also pause workouts pretty easily by clicking these shortcuts in the middle of a run. I can push these buttons and it'll pause it if I don't know, have to take a phone call or if I stop to get some water or something. So that doesn't count against your time or anything like that. What else? You can share your activity, which is really great, with a friend or something like that to kind of keep you motivated. There's also a health app on your iPhone. So let me grab that. And you can see all of your activity kind of at a weekly, daily, monthly view. And you have a medical ID that also is on here as well. So people can quickly access your information if they needed to. But one thing that's pretty awesome about this watch is it has a built-in GPS, and it uses locally stored satellite data to quickly identify your location. So you can track like your running. If you're doing that, you don't have to have your phone right on you. It automatically does that. I actually use the GPS for when I'm in the car. I don't have to have my, this is a 6S Plus, so it's pretty bulky to have in the car, so, or at least in my hand while I'm driving. So I can quickly just, turn my wrist and it'll give me directions while I'm driving, which is really nice. Another thing, if you're a runner, I'm not really a huge runner as of right now, but if you're running by yourself early in the morning or late at night and you just kind of want some extra security or peace of mind, you can press and hold right here on this side button. And this would pop up where I can click an emergency SOS where it would call the police. And I actually have it set up to text my husband and my dad at the same time with my GPS coordinates, and it'll alert them that I have called the police. So that's pretty cool. I haven't had to use that feature, so that's good. And again, you can also do this medical ID if you were hurt or something like that and people needed to access your information, or you can also power off the Apple Watch. Let me get this out of the way. All right, so a big difference between the Apple Watch Series 1 and 2, which was a pretty big game changer and for me, and a reason why I got the Series 2, was that it is water resistant up to 50 meters. Again, most activity trackers out there are only sweat and rain proof. I'm not a big swimmer, but it is nice to be able to wear it at the beach, or at the river, or the pool, or even the showers, because it can track your movement and activity while you're in the water. So that's something that's pretty cool, and just kind of peace of mind that it's not going to break. And once you remove it from the water, so it can be in there. Let me pull this out before I'm getting water all over my table. And you can get in here, you slide up and hit this water droplet button right here. And what it's going to do, you turn this digital crown. So what it's doing there is it's actually extracting the water out of the vent and the speaker here on the side by pressing that icon, and it's getting the water, expelling any moisture that is inside, and then pretty much you're good to go. So that's pretty sweet. All right, so now I'm going to quickly talk about some of the notifications. If you're looking for a way to kind of scroll through Instagram or Facebook, an Apple Watch isn't really what that's for. I can scroll through my Instagram activity feed, but with it being so small of a watch face, but also it's just not really the best option for being able to do that. So I just use my phone for that kind of stuff. But for notifications, you can get text messages. It's on Bluetooth connected to your phone. So you can get text message alerts, email alerts, calendar reminders, just reminders in general. And also you can set it up where you get progress updates for like your stand goal or moving around or exercise goals. So it's just a great way to get motivated throughout the day. One of the other apps that is on here is called the Breathe app. I'll go ahead and hit start. So this thing's pretty cool. Apple recently introduced this new app, and it kind of uses visual and vibrating cues to help you breathe deeply and slowly to help clear your head. So I'll get an alert, I don't know, every few hours just saying it's time to breathe. And it's such a small thing, but really in your time using the Breathe app, you're more than once taking a time from coming out of stress and kind of cooling down and relaxing. It's kind of just a small feature, but it's really time that we need to start realizing about our mental health is definitely is just as important as our physical health. So I used to do this a lot more often when I was breastfeeding Michael. That was kind of my time to just kind of chill out and take a moment. But I can do it in the car or whatever. So it's kind of cool. I think you do about 10 deep breaths, and then it gives you some kind of summary on it's tracking your heart rate on the bottom as well. So that's kind of cool. Other app alerts you can download iHydrate, which is one that I got because I am awful about drinking water. So I'll get little notifications telling me it's time to drink more water. You can do meal trackers. There's a bunch of different apps you can add to your watch. So that's most of that. Let's see, shortcuts. So you can slide up from the bottom, what I did earlier. Right now I have my setting on Do Not Disturb so we don't get interrupted with texts or calls or whatever during this review. But you can get a quick glance at your battery life. You can quickly put it into airplane mode, silent mode. So if I'm going into church or a meeting or whatever, I can turn that on pretty quickly. The Do Not Disturb, you're not going to get any kind of vibrate feeling or a ding noise. This little feature, the phone will ping your phone. So I don't know about you, but I lose my phone all the time. So if you have your watch on you, you can push that button and you get a little message. So you can constantly hit it and you'll find your phone eventually. So that's pretty sweet. As I mentioned earlier, the droplet button expels the water when you get out of the pool or shower or whatever. This feature right here is theater mode, which is kind of cool. It'll actually dim your screen and it puts it on silent mode until you change that setting. So if you're in the movies, that's a cool feature. What's the last one? This one actually is to do AirPlay. So if you have Apple TV or something like that, you can share your watch onto the screen, which is pretty sweet. Siri is on here as well. I have the settings set up on my phone, so all I have to do, as long as you're on Wi-Fi and connected to your phone, obviously, you can say, "Hey Siri, what's the weather like today?" So it'll pull it up without you having to push any button. Otherwise, you would just press and hold this digital crown. Remind me tomorrow at 10 a.m. to pick up the dry cleaning. So you can see, oh, sorry, this is probably out of focus, but I use reminders all the time. I have my watch and my phone is kind of my own personal assistant. So those, that's really helpful to be able to kind of, while I'm on the go, to be able to do that. You can also set an alarm, check the weather, again, reminders, or add things to your calendar. You can actually call and answer calls on your watch as well. The reception's pretty decent. I don't do it all the time, but when I don't have my phone handy, that's a nice hands-free option. You can also send text messages. So let's check, just to give you an idea on kind of how awesome the dictation is. We can test one out here. Text Ryan Shoemate. I love you, exclamation point. Hope you have a great day. So, pretty sweet. Just sent that over to my hubby. So, all right, so next up, we're going to talk about the wallet. This thing is pretty sweet. You've probably seen that I've had to put in my passcode a few times to access my watch, and that is because I have the Apple Pay set up on my watch. So what happens when I am on the go? Oh, well, I will call you back. What happens when I'm on the go is when I'm wearing this, I just double tap this sidebar, and my cards pop up here. So I can quickly, for stores that are compatible with Apple Pay, I just literally scan this thing on my wrist, and I don't have to get my wallet out. I don't have to mess with any of that, which is pretty sweet. So I do that at Starbucks or Target or whatever. So that's definitely a nice time saver. Also in your wallet, you can store the boarding passes on for airplanes or whatever. So that's, again, just another shortcut feature that's pretty sweet. Where Apple Watch does fall short, however, is that it doesn't support a built-in sleep tracker. So one of the more popular features on standard Fitbits is they have that sleep data to kind of help paint a full picture of your overall health, and kind of can identify why you might not be as rested as you were the next day. There are apps out there that you can pair with your Apple Watch for this function, but they do drain your battery overnight. And kind of this lack of the sleep tracker wasn't really a deal breaker for me because I have a 6-month-old, so any sleep I can get throughout the night is a win for me. But also instead I charge my Apple Watch while I'm sleeping, and kind of put it on as soon as I wake up so it's fully charged. So that's kind of what I've been doing, and that hasn't been anything that I've really missed by not having that sleep tracker. So if you're wondering if you should buy an Apple Watch, definitely just depends on what you're looking for. I was kind of looking for that one-stop shop wearable, one that really lets you stay on top of things, field calls and track any activity. So the Apple Watch was really the way to go for me. That said, the Series 1 model is now roughly $100 cheaper. It's also twice as fast as it once was with a recent update. So I'm kind of more of a go big or go home kind of girl. And definitely a gadget freak. So I ended up for the Series 2, especially for the waterproof feature. So the Apple Watch was really the only choice, with being an iPhone user and kind of wanting all of the bells and whistles that the Apple Watch Series 2 comes with. I did buy a dual docking station off Amazon, which simultaneously charges my phone and my watch. And again, as I mentioned, I bought a bunch of those third-party bands off Amazon for roughly $10 each. So would definitely suggest checking that out. So the big question is it time for you to buy a smartwatch? And the simple answer is yes. Hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll chat with y'all later. Bye.